So Lorcana got some pretty big announcements coming our way, and what we are going to be talking about is rotations, what that is, what that implies, and what you can expect for the game of Lorcana as these sets begin to unroll. All of that and more starting right now. So, of course, Ravensburger announced that they were finally going to be doing rotations, and that's going to be something really interesting. So, for those of you who don't know what a rotation is, it's something that while these sets begin to release and everything like that, there's going to get more and more cards that get released as we continue to go. That's a good thing. It's nice to have a lot of cards, except when there are so many cards that it makes it really hard for people to collect or things of that nature. Or if you're going all the way back to a couple years ago and it's like, gosh, can I even really pick up the cards from first set without paying an arm and a leg? Especially for new people coming in, that might be a little bit difficult to do. So Ravensburger came in and said, hey guys, we've been around for 2 years. We are pretty established as a card game. There's a lot of things that are going on with us that we are growing and progressing. Our first Worlds is coming up. I think it is time that we put in a rotation. And so that's going to have a lot that comes with it and some things that we are going to be diving into. First and foremost, it looks like every September of each year, the last 4 sets, the oldest 4 sets, are going to be disappearing. Now, what that's going to specifically mean is, of course, when Fabled comes out this September. That's going to be around September 5th. Then after that, first chapter, Rise of the Floodborn, Into the Inklands, and Ursula's Return is going to be banned. And that is going to be something to definitely keep in mind. Those first 4 sets, Dunzo, Gonzo, and that is it. And I'm a little bit sad about that in particular. I was hoping that they were going to be doing kind of more of a one at a time thing in particular. But as you can see, no, that's not the case. Now, what they're going to be doing is, of course, with Fable being released, then that's going to mean that set 10, 11, and 12 are going to be released. And then at set 13 the following year, then the last of those 4 sets are going to be banned as well. So by the time year 4 of Lorcana starts with set 13, Shimmering Skies, Sail the Azurite Sea, Arcasia's Island, and Reign of Jafar are going to be gone and banned. Now, of course, that doesn't necessarily mean that those cards are going to be gone for good. In fact, quite the opposite, because they are creating a whole new set or a format as well with that, and that is going to be a good rotation here as well with Infinity, which is not going to have a rotation at all. That's going to be pretty good because that means you can play any and all cards with that as well. What that also means is that they are going to specifically be looking at particular ban lists and everything of that as well. And it's going to be a little bit tough because, for example, like with Reign of Jafar, I'm a little disheartened by that, just slightly, because we are only going to get to play with Reign of Jafar for, essentially a year, whereas we're going to be able to get to play with Fabled and those kinds of sets for the 2 years because they're just going to be able to play a lot longer. Now, the biggest thing that I'm going to be wondering about this as well is, they said, of course, that they are going to be doing reprints with these sets as well, bringing back older cards. Now, of course, they did confirm that they aren't going to be bringing back old enchantments. They aren't going to be reprinting enchantments. Now, of course, with these sets as well, the new cards that they bring in, as they've already revealed, are not actually going to be outside of the 204 cards that are in the set. So for example here, let me actually get, I don't actually think I have that card. Anyway, when it's not a promo card, of course, it's going to be within the 204 cards in particular. And so that's going to be something that'll be really interesting to have to see with that as well. And so I'm curious to see how this is actually going to go. And that's the hard part with me on this, and why I wish they kind of did more of a one at a time set, especially because, for example, with Reign of Jafar, like we've already stated, they are only going to be playing that in rotation for 1 year. And then those 4 sets are going to be automatically banned. And so it does make it a little bit harder because when you are dropping around, $100 to $200 per set, only being able to use it then for a year is kind of a difficult situation to have to deal with, unfortunately, but that's how it is. At the same time, though, this actually really opens up the door for Infinity to be a really popular format. We are seeing that not only at the challenges are they going to have the standard format, for example, that is going to be at the events, but more so they are going to actually be having the Infinity challenges as well at these same events. Now, what that is probably going to imply as well, though they haven't quite announced this yet, but it makes sense, is that there is going to also be an Infinity's Worlds and things of that nature as well. Of course, that's going to be as things continue to develop. And so it's going to be really interesting to see. Now, there are still a difficult situation that we are kind of in at this point because right now it looks as though there isn't a whole lot necessarily going on. Ravensburger is actually speeding things up a lot with their communications. They finally have a whole events team that is specifically hired for challenges and worlds and things of that nature as well. And we are going to be talking about that in another video that will be posted tomorrow. And so that's going to be one of the biggest things, though, is that now that Ravensburger has proven that this card game can actually last, it can be profitable, it can be growing, that they're going to be putting a lot more effort into these bigger sets and things of that nature as well. We're seeing the cards that they're able to release and things of that nature, so they're really putting their best foot forward. They know this is something that they can stick around with. It's been making and breaking traction and everything like that, so it'll be cool. Final thing is, yes, that Ravensburger did say today in the broadcast of May 6th that there are going to be very specific bans for each format that you are going to be participating in. So Infinity is going to have its own bans. You know, the regular format is going to be having its own sets of bans, namely Hiram and Fortisphere as of right now. They're wanting to also push the envelopes to where they try to create bigger and better cards. There's a power creep aspect that is in every single card game. That's just how it is. But if they do happen to have a card that just absolutely steamrolls the meta and everything, then they want to, of course, be able to control that to make sure that the meta tries to stay as wide as possible. And luckily, that is very good to be able to hear that they are wanting to do that. So anyway, guys, that is basically it with rotations, what you can expect with all of that. So what are your thoughts on rotations as well? Personally, I think it is going to be healthy for the game. It is a little bit sad about the 4-set rotation in one go, but we'll see how that goes. And if so, and if it doesn't seem like it's going pretty well, then I'm sure Ravensburger is going to be changing it, but I really think it still is going to go smooth. But go ahead and let me know your thoughts down in the comments below. What are you looking forward to about the next chapter of Lorcana as well? Go ahead and let me know. And without any further ado, guys, have a good one.